in a move that has ignited heated debates on the global stage. The United States has barred Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas from attending next month's United Nations General Assembly. The decision also affects over 80 Palestinian officials who are members of the Palestine Liberation Organization, or PLO, and the Palestinian Authority, or PA. These officials were scheduled to attend a summit in New York, where several Western allies, including the United Kingdom, France, Canada, and Australia, are prepared to formally recognize Palestine as a sovereign state. United Kingdom, France, Canada, Australia. The U.S. justified its actions by citing concerns over security and accusations that the Palestinian Authority and the PLO have not sufficiently renounced extremism. The State Department further emphasized that Washington has long called for direct negotiations between Israel and Palestine. According to the U.S., the unilateral push for recognition of Palestine jeopardizes the prospects for a lasting peace. Palestinian officials, however, have expressed outrage. They argue that the denial of visas to Abbas and other senior figures violates the UN headquarters agreement, which ensures diplomats can access the United Nations without obstruction. Abbas's office has called on Washington to reverse its decision, calling it a direct attack on Palestine's right to be heard on the world stage. European leaders have also condemned the U.S. decision. French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot and Irish counterpart Simon Harris have both expressed strong opposition, stating that the move unjustly silences Palestine's voice in the United Nations. According to them, the action undermines the very principles of international diplomacy. On the other hand, Israel, along with the United States, has expressed concern over the growing momentum to recognize Palestinian statehood at the UN. Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar, in particular, has criticized the recognition efforts, linking them to the ongoing violence and expansion of Israeli settlements in the West Bank. Despite the U.S. stance, the majority of UN member states, 147 out of 193, already recognize Palestine as a state. However, the United States continues to insist that Palestinian statehood should only come through direct negotiations between Israelis and Palestinians. This issue has become particularly contentious in light of the ongoing violence in Gaza. In the past year, Israeli military actions have resulted in widespread destruction, contributing to a worsening humanitarian crisis. This, coupled with continued Israeli settlement activity in the West Bank, has fueled frustration among Palestinians and the broader international community. For many, the recognition of Palestine as a state is seen as a necessary step toward ending the decades-long occupation. But as the UN summit draws closer, the path to recognition remains clouded by political tensions, violence, and the failure of past peace negotiations. As the September summit approaches, it is clear that the debate over Palestinian statehood is far from over. With the US and Israel pushing back against recognition efforts, and European nations lending their support to Palestine, the future of a Palestinian state remains uncertain. The question remains, will global diplomacy finally break the deadlock, or will these tensions continue to hinder the pursuit of peace in the region? The State Department justified its decision by reiterating long-standing U.S. and Israeli allegations that the PA and PLO had failed to repudiate extremism while pushing for unilateral recognition of a Palestinian state. UN spokesperson Stéphane Dujarric said the UN would discuss the visa issue with the State Department. Under a 1947 UN headquarters agreement, the U.S. is generally required to allow access for foreign diplomats to the UN in New York. However, Washington has said it can deny visas for security, extremism, and foreign policy reasons. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez said in a statement on Saturday that he had spoken with Abbas to express Madrid's support, and he called the visa decision unjust.